Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I am looking at is from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. This is their new juice IPA. It is a juicy IPA, 6% by 6% alcohol by volume. IBUs are not listed. No other information on the label. I bought this as a variety pack. I bought the 15 pack. It's called the Overpacked Variety Pack. You get 15 beers, three or five beers total. So three of each beer in a 15 pack variety pack. They're all, well, I think there's two pale ales, a session pale, a regular pale ale, two juicy IPAs, and then one blonde ale called 8 Days a Week to kind of break up the hops from all the other beers that you're getting. So a very interesting variety pack. I've enjoyed the beer so far out of the variety pack that I've had. So let's try this one and see how it is. I do love juicy IPAs. This one's a little bit on the low end at 6%. Most of the juicy IPAs that I see nowadays are like 7% plus. So let's see what we're working with here. Kind of had to slow down a little bit on the aggressive pour. As you can see, it's got a nice head there, probably a 2.5 to 3 finger white, relatively frothy, kind of a cross between a creamy and a frothy looking head. A slightly hazy appearance. Doesn't look like a New England IPA, but could be a juicy IPA. There's so many different terms for these IPAs now. You have your juicy IPAs, you have your hazy IPAs, you have your New England IPAs, you have your milkshake IPAs. Hell, I can't keep up with it. So this one is just labeled as a juicy IPA. So nice appearance, nice head retention so far. The aroma, wouldn't necessarily say that it's got a juicy aroma. I'm getting a lot of the wheat malt character coming through on the aroma. A little bit grapefruit, a little bit of tangerine. So juicy in that sense, but definitely not tropical fruit like you get with the New England IPA. So this is more like West Coast juicy because of the grapefruit that I'm getting on the aroma. And it does smell like it's going to have a pretty good bitterness to it. So let's see how it tastes. Cheers, guys. Okay, the taste is it's actually quite nice, more malty than I thought it was going to be. The hop aromas are coming through really strongly on the aroma, but when I took that first sip, the malt character really shines with this. You're getting a lot of the wheat malt coming through, a little bit of like a caramel sweetness. You are getting a little bit of tangerine. I really think I'm picking up on grapefruit. Let me get another sip. Maybe a touch of grapefruit, but it's not super bitter like I was expecting just from the grapefruit aromas that I was picking up on the nose. I was thinking it was going to be more West Coast grapefruit pith, that really bitter grapefruit note that you get with a lot of the more West Coast style IPAs. I'm not getting that at all with this. Nice orange, tangerine, nice grapefruit, nice malty center, very nice wheat malt character with a little bit of caramel sweetness. The body is relatively light at 6%. You could drink a few of these, no problem. Carbonation is light to almost medium. It's super crisp, refreshing. The bitterness, although there is some bitterness with this, it's not lingering. It's not really sticking to the insides of my cheeks and building up as I continue to sip on it. Which for me makes the sessionability higher. A lot of these IPAs tend to have a lingering bitterness which builds over time the more that you drink the beer, which for me makes it not sessionable at all. Even if it's a lower alcohol beer, the bitterness just continues to build, and after one or two, I'm done because that bitterness just becomes too much for me personally. Now, obviously, some people like that experienced, I'm not one of those people. But I will say that this one is very well balanced between the malt and the hops. It's crisp, it's clean, it's refreshing. The finish is relatively dry as well. Like I said, the sessionability with this is pretty high, being that it's only 6% alcohol. I think that Southern Tier did a dynamite job with this beer. And I think for what it is, it's hard for me to really classify it because it's not really a full on West Coast. It's definitely not New England. I guess the way that they have it labeled is adequate for what I'm getting with this beer. It is juicy, but it's also very malty, which I really like because I like malt forward beers. There's a lot of wheat malt character coming through, which really makes this super enjoyable for me. Um, I'm tempted to give it a 96, and I will. I will give it a 96 out of 100. It is a solid A, getting up there, a wonderfully balanced, really nice, juicy IPA from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. Southern Tier has pretty good distribution. I know some of my buddies, my beer buddies that I hang out with here on YouTube, they can't get it, but for the most part, Southern Tier has pretty good distribution. The variety packs, if you can't get some of their really specialty beers, you should at least be able to get the overpack variety pack, which includes this beer along with 4 other different beers to try. And it's less than $20. It's $17.99 in my area. I know some people that have gotten it for $16 for the 15 pack. So a value, heck of a deal for the variety pack. You get to try a lot of good beers. I have not been disappointed yet. This one's no exception. 96 out of 100, like I said. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.